Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
Dry out yet?
Yes. Yeah, well, I was in the box, so that was good.
That's over with.
Yeah.
Stick, I think that those of us who've known you a long time know how talented you are, but the nation now has gotten to see really what you can do. Will you talk about the pride you have in these young men?
Well, we've said all along that these guys are different. They're hungry. They're, good dudes. They're good guys. So you like being around them. You like coaching them. Excuse me. And they're putting in the work. They're putting in the work. So really, really proud of them. They're doing a great job, and we just got to keep it going.
With so many people out for Minnesota, how hard is it to prepare for that, knowing that you're looking at guys on film that aren't even there?
Well, we have been talking all year, even before the season started. It's not about them, it's about us. It don't matter who we're playing, it's about us executing. If all 11 execute, then we give ourselves a chance to win. So all 11 execute each and every play, not 9, not 8, but all 11 every play, then we'll give ourselves a chance to win regardless of who we're playing. So we've been focusing on us as opposed to the opponent this year.
Harlon, I know the weather wasn't great the other night, but the turnovers, the 5 turnovers, and you guys have been talking about that's been a focus recently. How important is that?
Very, very important. Very important. We talk about turnovers. Critical to winning is one of the things we talk about all throughout camp and everything, and Coach D is always talking about it, and turnovers is one of them. Sacks is another, third down efficiency, stopping a run. So there's a lot of things that we talk about constantly over and over, and our guys, we put a lot of focus on it, and our guys are starting to make it happen.
When you look at this defense right now, is it starting up front or starting in the back, and how do they, I guess, work together to make each other better?
It's a total unit thing. Just like I just said, we've been talking about all 11 execute. So when we put on the film, guys don't want to be the ones that's not executing. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when things happen, we say, is it them or is it us? Was it them making a play, or did we just screw up and they made a play because we screwed up? And so nobody wants to be that guy. And so we've really been focusing on that. So everybody's just, doing their part to do their job and trusting the defense, trusting each other, and we're able to get things done.
Do younger guys have better short-term memory? You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, I got to let this go.
Nowadays, I think they do. If not, they're good at not letting everybody see they're sweating. But I think they do, and that's a good thing. We talk about it. You can't, you got to go on to the next. You got to move on to the next. Just like after a win, you got to move on to the next. I remember Coach Perlis used to say 24-hour rule. After that, the game's over, you on to the next. And we kind of take that approach a little bit in that we're on to the next thing. Even after a play, a big play, even if you make a great play, it's on to the next. We got to continue to play.
The way Justin Lane has played the last couple of games, seems like he's really kind of picked up his level a little bit the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has. He's gotten better and better for a young man that came here as a wide receiver. Now he's been with us full time since the summer. We thought we were going to have him full time after last year, and then we went into spring and had to move him back over to receiver. At first it was partially, then it became full time because of injuries. But ever since the spring and throughout the summer, he's been back with us, and so he's now starting to get all the little technical things down at defensive back, at corner in particular, that he needs to make his game go to another level.
Not much Josh Butler or Tyson Smith lately. Are those other two guys, or Justin and Josiah, kind of locking down those spots a little bit more than maybe earlier in the season?
Yeah, we feel like those two guys have really stepped up, but don't get me wrong. Now we still feel great about Tyson and Josh. They're good players, and you will see them some more this year. You will see them for sure. But right now, somebody has to start, obviously, and play. And so we feel like Josiah and Justin are doing a good job. But don't be surprised to see Tyson and Josh back in there as well.
That depth of receiver, that's probably allowed Justin to stay on your side of the ball now. Right?
Absolutely. And that's what he needs to do to get better and better and better instead of flip-flopping and hearing different things and all that type of stuff. So I think he's comfortable being over there now. We're happy to have him, and he's doing well.
After such an emotional win, how do you recharge and get it going again?
Well, that was kind of a concern going into last week because Iowa was an emotional win. And so our guys grew from that. Coach talked about it and being ready to get up when the time calls for us to get up. And, we talk about, and you've heard Coach D mention before, keeping the lion in the cage till it's time. And our guys are able to do that. We're proud of them. They took a big step last week, not only getting recharged and getting emotional, but in a hostile environment, going down on their first away game and playing well. So really proud of the guys.
Harlon, you've been around here so long. What does Mark do to be 8-2 after the Michigan game? What is it in his secret sauce that you've learned from him? Because you're going to be a head coach one day, that you have learned from him about why is he so good after that game?
Again, because you focus on to the next thing. We're on to the next thing. I mean, we talk about it, we celebrate it, whatever, and then once it's over, it's over. You got to keep moving. The season doesn't stop just because you have one win. You got to keep moving on and keep moving forward, and that's what he does a great job of. And he also does a great job of not being so stagnant, so like we got to do certain things the same way all the time. He's not superstitious. He's willing to make changes and things like that to help our guys get better and improve each and every week.
That's something I would think that takes some coaching itself in terms of being able to just say 1 week at a time too. I mean, how do you guys coach yourselves on that?
Exactly. Well, because we're moving on to the next opponent. We're looking at film and all that, so that makes us actually transition quicker than even the players because we're watching them on Sunday, getting ready for the next opponent, which we love. This is what we do. We love to do it, breaking down film, watching opponents, breaking them down, figure out what their tendencies are or whatever, and see how they might attack us. That's part of the coaching. That's part of the fun part, and then going out and coaching the guys up and seeing the results on Saturday.
Mark actually talked a little bit about that. I mean, how much do you study what the assistant coaches of a team have done historically when there's a changeover in a program like that?
Oh, you're always going to go back and look and see what they've done because they're going to be who they are. You know what I mean? So you're going to study what the coordinators like to do in the past and all that type of stuff. So you gotta have great attention to detail. Really put your work in, your due diligence, to see what they like to do, not just from this season, but previous seasons. And so when you do that, you start to see patterns and things like that.
Harlon, go back with me to the day it was announced that you becoming coordinator. You and I talked about you are the good guy. And it was going to be different going from Pat, who was emotional and kind of the browbeater. Now the guys are talking about you being the browbeater and the emotional one, and they've picked up your play violent mantra. How have you grown from now that you're in this role? Because certainly you've taken another step.
Well, it's something that I said this offseason and to the guys as I'm just thinking about the offseason. A lot of times players don't take off until their third year, be it they redshirted or not. But third year seems to be the year when guys take off. Are there some exceptions? Of course, there's some young guys, the freshmen that can play and come in and play right away. But third year, that's when you start to see, just look around the country. And I even told the guys, I said, my third year is when I started playing at Michigan State and started having success. I'm in my third year, being able to call the defense. Mike and I co-coordinating the defense. And so now I'm in a comfort level of calling it. And so I think that's what it is a little bit. Comfortable seeing a lot of different things. Although I was up there with Pat over the years that he was calling it, I was not calling it. That's still a different thing. And so when you're able to be able to do something for a long time, like you're doing this, you guys are doing what you do, you get a comfort level. You know what to ask, what not to ask, and all that type of thing. Same thing. We know what to call, not to call, and then you just feel comfortable.
Is there a play that you can look back on Sunday or Saturday where you look at it and it kind of epitomizes where a guy has grown a lot? Maybe that guy couldn't have done that earlier this year, even last year?
Oh, that's a good question.
That you say, man.
Well, you know what? David Dow had the game that he had, and he was able to just keep playing. Not that he had a perfect game, but he kept playing. A guy that's in his year? His third year. You know what I mean? So that was a growth that you saw that you probably wouldn't have seen last year. Got to keep playing, good or bad. I'm just gonna keep playing. We know we got to go on to the next. And Coach D has been talking about the last 2 weeks is like a boxing match, rounds. So every time we go out for a new series, that's the next round. So we had a 11-rounder against Iowa, and that was a 15-rounder versus Michigan.
How about Panashuk and Raekwon? How much of the push they're getting up the middle is helping the guys to their left and behind them, left and right and behind them?
Oh, it helps tremendously. When those guys can, do what they do as far as using their hands, staying in their gaps, and is wreaking havoc on the offensive line up front, because that's where everything starts, then it makes it easier for everybody else. So they're doing a fantastic job.
When you look at Minnesota, they're allowing 0.2 sacks a game. So what does this defense have to do collectively to get to that quarterback?
Well, he gets rid of the ball, man, and only 1 sack on the whole year. So we're gonna do what we do. We got to, when we get to him, we got to get him down on the ground, wrap and squeeze him and get him down. But more than that, you got to be able to have good coverage, make it hard for him, make the windows tough for him, and then maybe we'll get a chance to get to him.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.